Elon Musk is proposing a $5,000 DOGE dividend for all Americans. Now, whether or not this is going to happen or whether or not this would be good news for markets, I'm really not here to debate that, just share the news. I would say it would be positive, but there would be implications for inflation there. So let me know down below in the comment section if you think that would be good or if that would be bad. I'm sure a lot more US citizens would start to understand the gravity of the misuse, abuse, and or fraudulent spending behaviors that have taken place in Washington. Now, Trump says, quote, "We are successfully negotiating an end to the war with Russia." This was really the big news today that sent markets moving higher. Trump has expressed interest in a deal that would include substantial investments and commitments from China to buy more American products. Trump would like an agreement with China to also include issues like nuclear weapons security. And here it says Trump would like to strike a wide-ranging deal with China's Xi, one that goes beyond just reworking trading relationships. Trump is eyeing a bigger, better trade deal with China and really improving relations, this feels like. And I think that's what markets took away from this. And I think that's why the S&P did move higher on this headline coming out. China's commerce minister says China is strongly dissatisfied with U.S. tariffs on Chinese goods. China says that they are willing to strengthen talks with U.S. on policies. U.S. has designated the trendy Aragua, Cartel de Sinaloa, and other cartels as global terrorist organizations. It was also reported today from Mexico's President Sheinbaum that they will allow U.S. troops into Mexico to help them fight the cartels, but it has to be as a partnership process, not just the U.S. coming in and doing their own thing. Canada's Prime Minister Trudeau says, "If ever there are tariffs brought on Canada, our response will be immediate and strong, but we don't want that." And Trump says that Congress should pass the U.S. House's federal spending plan to kickstart budget process. Just pass one bill, Trump says on a Truth Social post. Now, as far as economic data today, building permits came in at 1.483 million, a little bit higher than the estimate of 1.46 million. Housing starts came in negative 9% month over month at 1.366 million versus an estimated 1.4 million, so it came in lower than the estimates. Building permits month over month came in at 0.1% versus the estimated negative 0.8%, so again, better than expected there. And housing starts month over month came in at negative 9.8%. Versus estimates of negative 9%, following last month's jump up 16.1%. So overall, the economic data really didn't change much today. You can see the Atlanta Fed GDP Now tracker, well, its estimates staying the same at 2.3%. And we did get a new update today. The next update that we will get is Friday, February 28th. So we have to go a whole nother week or so before we get a new GDP update or estimate for Q1. And coming out today, we did get the FOMC minutes. Again, this does cause markets to move pretty crazy when it comes out, but it doesn't tend to be a long-lasting catalyst for stocks. CNN's Fear and Greed Index today falling a little bit. Yesterday was at 48, which was neutral. Today you're at 47, which is still neutral. Market momentum is neutral. Stock price strength is fear. Stock price breadth is fear. Put and call options, extreme greed. Market volatility is neutral. Safe haven demand in extreme fear. And junk bond demand in greed. The percent of stocks trading above their 50-day moving average down 1.11% today to 52.32%. So you are seeing some broader market weakness today, but not a super bad day overall. Indexes are all in the red today. Russell 2000 is down 0.5%. Dow is down 0.5%. S&P and NASDAQ are virtually flat on the day today. So the stocks that are outperforming today, well, that's kind of notable since the markets are generally moving lower. Oil is up almost 1% today. Gold is down 0.25%. And 10-year Treasury yields are moving up 1.5 basis points to 4.56%. We do have some earnings today in after hours, but the big story is going to be tomorrow morning when Walmart reports. Walmart is really the big economic bellwether for the economy. So if people are slowing down and, not spending as much, that's a big red flag if Walmart says that, okay? That's going to tell you more than any economic data, considering retail sales came in the lowest we've seen in the past 12 months for the month of January. I think tomorrow's report from Walmart, specifically their full year guidance, is really one of the biggest catalysts we've had in a long time. And I think it's a lot more credible than the economic data is. Okay. Tomorrow morning, you will also get Alibaba, Unity, Wayfair, and others. Today and after hours, you do have some interesting names. Carvana, that's going to be a big mover. Toast, Cheesecake Factory, Exact Science, Bosch Health, and Vail will also be reporting earnings. Now, coming tomorrow morning, we will get initial jobless claims, expecting those at about 215,000. That would only be a small jump from last week, and I think initial jobless claims could become more important considering, again, retail sales last month came in on the low side. You're really leaving the holiday shopping season now. You're now in February, and if companies start to expect 2025 is not going to be a great year, February is usually the month you start to see more of those layoffs. Now, you could also start to see some of the DOGE impacts boosting these numbers. We know that initial jobless claims in the DC area are skyrocketing, and DC is essentially in a recession. Does some of that start to play into the numbers? I think tomorrow could tell us a little bit. We will also get Philadelphia Manufacturing Index as well, expecting that at 20, which is a sharp decline from last month's 44.3. So that's going to be something to watch. But it's all about the Philly Fed secondary data, like the prices paid component. Prices paid component did continue to go higher last month to 31.9. We don't have any estimates here, but a number that comes in lower than that is going to be really good. And that's what's going to be probably the biggest story of markets coming tomorrow. If that prices paid or the inflation component of the Philly Fed data comes in low, that's going to be really good. You also get Philly Fed new orders, Philly Fed employment, Philly Fed CapEx index, and Philly Fed business conditions. And overall, as long as you don't see like overheating conditions here, it's not going to be much of a story. The prices paid component is going to be what really, moves markets. Couple bond auctions tomorrow. We get the CB leading index month over month, expecting that at 0%. Last month, it was negative 0.1%. You get a speech from Fed Goolsbee here at 9:35 in the morning. So some Fed comments to start off our trading day. Fed Kugler speaks at 5 p.m. tomorrow, and Fed Musolium speaks at noon. You also get Fed Barr that speaks at 2:30. He doesn't really move the markets ever. Now, tomorrow, and after hours at 6:30 p.m., you will get the inflation rate out of Japan, core, month over month, year over year, for both of those metrics as well. And then Friday, you're going to get your existing home sales, composite PMIs, manufacturing PMIs, and services PMIs, with a bigger focus on services, since that is a large percentage of our economy. 70-ish% of our economy is services. If services start to weaken, that is going to be something I think markets react to. And what it would do is push down 10-year Treasury yields tomorrow. 10-year Treasury yields are, pretty much not doing a whole lot of anything, as I shared earlier in this video. But on Friday, you will get a big move. The EU Trade Commissioner says they will have no choice but to respond firmly and swiftly to new U.S. tariffs, but we hope to avoid this scenario. EU Trade Commissioner says he sees no justification for sudden unilateral tariff increases by the U.S. I mean, what's fair is fair, right? That sounds logical to me. So why be unfair? Is the question I have. White House NSA advisor Waltz tells Fox News chances of a peace deal for Ukraine and Russia are good. Now, overall today, the SPY, or the S&P 500, is hitting a new all-time high. And really, we're in this technical breakout, as I've shared with you guys many times now here on the channel. You're above this downtrending trend line. You're firmly above that. You win above that with some real strength. And over the past couple of days, you've kind of been trending sideways or trading sideways, but kind of trending higher very slowly. I mean, the volume on the S&P has been super low. You know, what was this? On Tuesday, or on Friday, volume was 27 million. On Monday, volume was 27 million. And now today, at the time of recording this video, volume is only 14.5 million. So volume's been very low. So when volume comes back into our markets, how do things trade? Do we see a larger move higher or a fall? I mean, this is like 50% of the volume that you see during, you know, volatility periods, right? Not even. It's a quarter of the volume you can see on bigger days. Like when the S&P dropped 3% on December 18th, you had 108 million shares trade hands. That was that bearish Fed meeting. You know, so you're like a quarter of that volume. It's very, very low volume. And, you know, there will be at some point more volume that comes in. And that is what I think will be important. If we sell off on higher volume, not exactly a great sign. If we rise on higher volume, that's going to be a good sign. But these low volume kind of melt ups don't tell you a whole lot. Even though it is good that markets are moving higher, it's really uneven under the surface. There's been a lot of big winners recently and a lot of big losers recently. And I really think 2025 is going to be a stock pickers market more than, you know, a headline S&P just outperforming everything. That is because big tech, I don't believe, packs the same punch that it did in years prior. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comments section. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for supporting this channel. For those of you guys that send super thanks and are members on the channel, we do appreciate it. Can you say bye-bye?